European Ahwazi Human Rights Organization update. A British peer calls for clemency as Iran prepares public execution of 5 Arabs. Lord Hylton has joined Amnesty International's urgent appeal and sent messages of appeal for clemency for 5 Ahwazi Arabs awaiting public execution after Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court of Iran approved of the sentencing. Amnesty International on the 8th of March 2012 appealed to Iran not to carry out the executions and to commute the death sentence of the 5 Ahwazis, including 3 brothers, their cousin and another man, are at imminent risk of execution in public after their death sentence were upheld by the Supreme Court. The sentence may be intended to deter Ahwazi Arabs in Iran from demonstrating on the 15th of April anniversary of the protest held in 2005. The 3 brothers, Abdurrahman Heidari, Taha Heidari and Jamshi Heidari, their cousin nsour Heidari and Amir Muawi or Muawi, were arrested in April 2011 in Ahwaz during unrest taking place across Iran's southern western Khuzestan province. Since their arrest, their whereabouts have not been disclosed to their families. On or around the 5th of March 2012, Ministry of Intelligence officials informed their families that the Supreme Court had upheld death sentences against the 5 men, after they were convicted of the killing of at least one individual, said to be a law enforcement official, on the 15th of April 2011. The Ministry of Intelligence also told the men's relatives that they would be executed in public in the next few days. It is not known when their initial trials took place or if they had an illegal representation. Confessions extracted on the duress are frequently accepted as evidence before the courts in Iran, as Amnesty International said. In other news, the UN Rapporteur on Iran said 65 Ahwazis arrested since the late 2011. In a 36-page report to be submitted to the UN Human Rights Council on the 12th of March 2012, the Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Situations in Iran concludes that 65 ethnic Arabs in Arabistan have been arrested and detained since late 2011, allegedly in response to their calls for a boycott of upcoming parliamentary elections and anti-government slogans. Ahmed Shahid said he continues to receive reports about human rights violations affecting ethnic minorities, including Ahwazis in law and in practice. Minorities also continue to be subjected to intense socio-economic discrimination and pressures, including land and property confiscations, denial of employment and restrictions on social, cultural and linguistic rights, in violation of the International Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination and International Convent on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. European Ahwazi Human Rights welcomes the UN Rapporteur report on human rights situation in Iran, particularly double oppression on ethnic minorities including Ahwazis. However, we believe that the reports fall far short of addressing Iran's apartheid-style discrimination and ethnic cleansing policies against Ahwazis, one of the world's most persecuted and forgotten people, on the basis of voluminous information from a variety of independent and reliable sources, such as Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Minority Rights Group International, Reporters Without Borders, Society for Threatened People, or even UN reports. Just recently, in a 70-page report, Amnesty International reported unfolding wave of repression in Arabistan appeared to have been resulted at least 2 deaths in custody and between 50 to 65 arrests in at least 3 separate locations in the province. Arrests in Shush, north of Arabistan, appeared to have been brought on by the appearance of anti-election slogans painted on walls, while others appeared to be pre-emptory arrests aimed at preventing any gathering of Ahwazi Arabs either on the anniversary of the 14th of February demonstrations or on the 15th of April anniversary of the Day of Rage. Scores of members of the Ahwazi Arab minority were reportedly arrested before or during and after demonstrations on the 15th of April 2011, and at least 3 people were killed during clashes with security forces. The demonstrations, called a Day of Rage in common with the other protests across the Middle East at the time, were marking the 6th anniversary of a mass demonstration during and following which members of the security force killed dozens of protesters and carried out mass arrests, sparkling a cycle of violence and human rights violations. At least 4 Ahwazi Arab men reportedly died in custody between the 23rd of March 2011 and mid-May 2011, possibly as a result of torture or other ill treatment. Others have been hospitalized, apparently as a result of injuries sustained from torture or other ill treatment. One man, Ijbara Tamimi, was reportedly arrested at home following the 15th of April demonstrations, apparently on suspicion of having been in contact with and having provided information to Al Arabiya TV. According to reports received by Amnesty International, he died in Sepida prison in Ahwaz after being tortured in a failed attempt to extract a recorded confession. At least 8 Ahwazi Arabs in Iran, including Hashim Hamidi, said to have been aged only 16, were executed between the 5th and the 7th of May 2011. 3 of the 8 were reportedly executed in public. The precise charges those reportedly executed were convicted of are unknown to Amnesty International. The Iranian authorities have not acknowledged these executions. However, a police colonel said on the 21st of April 2011 that 8 members of the group he described as Khalq al-Arab terrorist group had been arrested by security forces accused of killing of 3 individuals, including a law enforcement official, on the 15th of April 2011. Ahwazi Arab sources have claimed that the 8 were arrested in connection with demonstrations that took place on the 15th of April 2011 in Arabistan province. In either case, they were tried, convicted, and executed within 3 weeks. Amnesty International does not have any information concerning most of their trials, although Hashim Hamidi was reportedly tried without the presence of a lawyer in trial that lasted only about 10 minutes. Thank you.